Advises on silence. Council are aware it goes off into £10 charge, which was really well made to feel. Anyone intending to undertake any film or sound recording, I understand that the contact to make members aware that this is being recorded. Okay. Members of the public are respectfully reminded that this is a meeting that will be held in public and is not a public meeting. The attendance of the public to observe the proceedings is welcome, but participation is limited to those individuals that the chair has agreed can address the committee in accordance with the usual procedures. Anyone hasn't spoken to our officers to put their name down, could you please indicate, and then we can make sure that you're added to the list. Okay. In considering the applications before us, there is no place for party politics. That has been confirmed by case law. Councillors present act as individuals not bound by any party label or any pressure from any political group. Members of the committee or panel should not be approached or pass any kind of note by any attendees. It is not possible to table any additional documents at the meeting unless being pre-organised. Okay? Members and officers present at the meeting will now have already introduced themselves, so we will now go on to the business items. The first item is item 5, membership of subcommittees.
I've not received any recommendations.
3 years from now, albeit the government may extend that programme.
Thank you for the answer, but we're really looking to see that education report, because there's absolutely no mention of it in this report.
Circulate that now.
Circulate that now, we're going on. We're doing that. Councillor Oxford from Council Senate.
To answer the question, yes, I read writing that it
I think the majority of people
they've not
they don't really comments on it. I know that it's actually a departure from the RUP, and it could be considered by some it's premature. Will the if the application is approved, we'll have to go to the ministry.
New system. This is my day. As you know, Chair, I've been around quite a long time and bring some memories to yourself what's happened in the past. So I do find it really quite bizarre to be discussing a planning application at the same time a road junction 2 miles away, and that being seen as being a significant contribution to the debate. That does seem odd. I do know, I attended a meeting in 1985 at the old Greengate Primary School about Greengate Junction. I do know about the problems there, but it does seem it's actually not fraudulent. I don't understand why it isn't, to take a contribution from one area and to make that money available to address the problem in another area. It certainly seems somewhat immoral and distorts, in my view, what should be a rational, logical argument about the contribution required from a particular development to the impact of that development on its own locality, and also to manipulate, which seems to be the case, the social housing contribution as a way of balancing the books in some way, again seems to be somewhat immoral. I want to talk really about the original development of this site, because it's maybe not unfortunate for the officers, but I do remember what council officers were saying to us when we, with apologies to those who live on Cote Farm, we tried to stop the whole of the development that took place there unsuccessfully. The council itself designated this land as urban green space. We opposed the whole of the development, but the council itself stated that this land was crucially important. The words that we used in the council's own report were green lawn. The council itself, not us, it referred to it as a crucially important buffer between Windmill and Fackley, an important contribution to keeping some part of the south-facing side of the Aire Valley so that it wasn't continuous development. It was a strong opinion that it made a very important contribution to the residents of Bale. It's not mentioned in this report, but the council itself used these as arguments for not developing the whole of the side and retaining this piece of land. The the council itself made these arguments which it doesn't seem now to support. We're told that the basis of going against the policy is the housing deficit, really, the shortage of housing land. But surely this is just premature. Now, it may be that when that 5-year housing supply is finally determined, it may well be that this piece of land is redesignated as housing land. I hope it isn't, but it may be. But surely that should be through a rigorous consultation process, and also seen against the other proposals for the use of land across the district. That's how this piece of land should be changed, if it is to be changed from urban green space to housing land, not through the distortion and manipulation of Section 106 funding, because it's convenient to fund a development 2 miles away. In terms of the traffic, just going back to that, I have to say that the officers say there's no impact on the local community. Well, it wasn't the case this morning when I was on the road from Batley to Windhill this morning at 8 o'clock. But also the council themselves put in a Section 106 agreement when the development was originally built for traffic lights at Batley Corner. So at that time, the council did not proceed with that on the basis of the flow of traffic, but it was a requirement agreed by the developer at the time of the Cote development that there should be traffic lights because he recognised there would be an impact on traffic. And yet now we have council officers saying not only that development, but this additional development will not have an impact on local traffic. To note, just to notify the committee members, I have asked the Secretary of State to call in this decision. I had a brief meeting with the Secretary of State yesterday, who's going to refer to the Housing Minister, and I'm doing that on the basis of the fact that this is, in my view, premature, and I've said that reference to the National Planning Policy Framework, rather than to the local plans, is premature and removes the opportunity for local people to be consulted on the future of the site in the development plan document allocations. That should be the right time to consider the future use of this land, and not through the charade which is going on in this present meeting. Thank you very much.
I think something should be said that, this panel is not taking into account what's happening at Greengate. It's on this merit alone. Election speeches or not election speech.
Let officers just speak first and answer some of the questions that have been raised by those officers.
Hearing what Councillor Whiteley says, I totally agree about the schools, but it's not here to discuss schools today, we're here to discuss planning. And until we get a system where we're building schools along with the type of developments that go with them, we'll always have that problem in this country. So that's the facing that, let's be honest, I'm not happy about the road, but it's not our fault we have to do this development, unfortunately. The government has told us this is what we do. The coalition government has told us this is what we have to do. And we have to do it whether we like it or whether we don't like it. I'm not happy, as I said, I'm not happy about the road. I'm not happy at all about the road. But I really...
Councillor Lee, so just concerns about the way that you're speaking.
Fine. Thank you. Fine. I'm just saying what I think and I'm saying it out loud. I am really concerned about the road, and because of that, I don't think I will be supporting this application.